Welcome. This is the Help podcast. I am Brooke Eggleston, and I am here with...
It's your girl, Stevie. Yeah, I tried there. Whatever.
And today we're talking about drinking.
Yes, and we're also just trying to relate to people out there that we're trying to relate to people out there that have similar experiences and just trying to make it normalized as opposed to just like what social media makes it into be.
Portrays. Yeah, that's what this podcast, the Help podcast, is all about. We are talking about and tackling topics
on self-image, acceptance,
vulnerability.
Yeah, and what that means to us, as well as you. And you can relate so that we're a little bit more human about all of it.
Mm-hmm. Sharing our failures.
Well, I was going to say experiences, failures, you know what I mean?
Most of mine were failures, and that's fine. We're sharing the mess.
Yeah, embarrassing moments. Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely.
I got you. For sure.
And boy, do I have a lot of messes when it comes to today's topic. Drinking.
Handle your pantalones.
They're off.
Yes.
They're already off, and I haven't drank in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve, as you know, right now, I am completely sober.
Yes.
I've been sober for, this is an AA meeting. Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, I'm Brooke. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm full of acceptance.
I have been to a couple AA meetings.
Oh, good.
So I've been sober for 2 months-ish at this point. That was not the case for me for, just the majority of my life. I started drinking, I think, when I was like 14 or 15. Is that weird? How old were you?
I mean, I'm not judging it. You think I'm going to judge it? I mean, honestly, I think I was like 16.
16.
But like 2 years doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
It was the same. It was the same.
For sure.
But
we're on the corner.
There was not a lot going on in Guthrie, Oklahoma in those days. And I mean, there still is not, but that was like the thing to do. Like, drinking for me was this like romanticized, idealized, like, activity that meant that you were like, I don't know, I just put so much emphasis on it. In general, my sisters were 10 and 8 years older than me.
Really? Okay, so they already knew.
They were already like legally drinking by this point. And just a lot of my drinking plays into so many of my like insecurities.
Yeah, of course.
And like things that I grew up with, like feeling like I needed to be doing the things that my sisters were doing.
Yeah. Well, and everybody's doing it at that age.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like a level of acceptance.
Yeah, absolutely. If I do this, if I get drunk, if I go to these parties, I'll be accepted. I'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I definitely agree.
This is the high school experience. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I will say, the first time I actually wrote about it, I had like a secret...
Stop. You had a secret diary?
A blog. Like, it was a secret. I think it was Blogspot.
Is it like a Tumblr? Remember. Or like a Twitter? What are we doing here?
Blogspot? Colt, do you know what a Blogspot is?
No, I don't know what Blogspot is.
Damn it, I'm the oldest person on the planet.
Is it like a Zanga?
It's like a Zanga.
Okay, cool. I can vibe.
But it was like your own personal journal. I didn't share the URL with anybody. It was just like my way to journal. And I remember I talked about how much, like the first time I drank, I wrote in it and I was like,
What'd you say?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is the first time I've ever been drunk. This is so much fun. Like, I'm going to do this all the time. Give me those Smirnoff Black Ices. Did you ever drink those?
Yeah.
Like the bitch beers?
No, I'd like to say that, and like, because it sounds very studious for me to say that. No, I was a liquor girl. I was like tequila and alcohol.
At 16?
SOS.
Get it, girl.
Help my soul.
Help my soul. That's a dark arts, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. Who was I around? Okay, you go.
No, we drank these disgusting things. I don't know who got them for us, but they were like, it's Smirnoff, but it's like it's like a carbonated I thought it was beer. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's like green apple.
Did it not mess up your stomach?
Girl, every time I drank in high school, I was miserable.
No, literally. That's why you don't drink it. You drink the alcohol.
Exactly.
Did you like a Hey Mister?
Did you guys ever drink Everclear?
Honestly,
Ooh,
yes.
That's a Western thing.
Yeah. Why? Like, why? Whoever put that in the vocabulary about Everclear?
Because it was hardcore. It was like, Everclear was like the epitome of like, if you could take a shot of Everclear as a girl in my high school, you were like,
yeah,
the
and
shit.
you were all in.
Yeah.
You're like, look here.
And so I took a few shots of Everclear in my life.
Yeah.
And then you would light the bottle on fire after.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Y'all didn't do that?
Oh my gosh, y'all are like super hardcore.
That was an Oklahoma thing, probably. We were out in a field somewhere.
Yeah, out in a field. I don't know. Girls
safe.
were really cruel in my Katy, Texas area. They were around Houston, so I think like everything became like not in a bad way, but like became social media, and we had people with money and then people without money, and you just kind of like. I mean, I'm like the middle ground to that. Like
no fields.
I'll
no
get,
fields on Instagram.
MD 2020, you know what I mean? Like it don't have that much. There's a lot of flavor into it, but yeah.
I never messed with that stuff. The hard stuff.
Oh really? You know what? You're like ahead of the game. I feel like you're like the observer, and I'm like the crack.
What?
I don't know.
You're the crack dealer?
Crack dealer.
Hey, Joe Rogan.
No, but I got way too drunk. I think it was just like, and I don't think we even knew what we were doing half of the time we were drunk.
Yeah, no.
And the realization, you're like, well, somebody said it was a good idea to go streaking.
Let's do it.
Yeah, bad idea, okay? Bad idea. When social media comes out, the bad idea, you know?
I guess I didn't super have... God, I guess I got on Facebook like my sophomore or junior year of high school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, not everybody was on it. Instagram didn't exist till I was in college.
Really?
Yeah. And so like social media wasn't like a big thing when I was in high school, which I'm super thankful for because I was already fucked up enough.
For
that
sure.
I didn't need all that extra.
Pressure.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, no, I hate to be in the crew of like Facebook and like trying to make cool photos.
Yeah.
I was that girl, you know? Like we're having a good time, like everybody smile, obligatory like smile, like everybody smile. We're having a good time, it's great. We're all drinking, you know? Like nobody's experienced this before.
Yeah.
You better
This
smile.
is wild. This is wild.
Yeah.
Though I will say my sister had Facebook. My middle sister had Facebook before I did because it was open to college kids first or whatever.
Okay, cool.
Before they opened it to high school. And when I got on Facebook, it was invitation only.
Oh, that's offensive.
Ooh.
Yeah, like what does that mean to everybody? That means a whole lot of things.
They had opened it up from just colleges to high school, but it was like a college person had to invite a high schooler, and then that high schooler, literally, I remember.
Are you serious?
It was Hannah Ham. Her brother invited her to Facebook, and she was like, she had her notebook and was like taking people's names and emails to get on Facebook. Are you
serious?
People were so stoked about it. They were like, let's fucking do it. All we had was MySpace.
What do you think is like the worst time? Like when you think of like getting drunk, and like everybody fantasizes about getting drunk, was like worst drunk night.
Worst drunk night. The drunk night that was like basically the end of it for me, and one of the many, many reasons why I am now sober, kind of had every element of all of the things I'd been dealing with since probably turning like 23, 24.
Yeah, that's a good age.
And not really liking drinking anymore, but still continuing to do it for whatever reason. So this night in particular kind of has all of those elements. And because of that is like the reason that I don't drink anymore. But so what happened was, this was like May of 2018. So like over a year ago now. It was the last, this is like the last time I was drunk.
Yeah.
I was going out to meet a friend, and it was supposed to be like a quick girls' night. We were gonna meet up at like 9:30, wrap that shit up by 11. Be home in bed. But so I get to the bar at 9:30, and it was where I used, like, the bars that I used to work for. So I was being immediately fed alcohol as soon as I walked in. Like, here's a free drink, here's a free shot. And she was running late. And a guy that worked there who I had like, because of alcohol, hooked up with earlier that year.
Yeah, of course. Pure regret right there.
For sure. He was there, and he was literally, like, as I'm walking in, he's getting off of work. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Cool. Goodbye. You didn't say that? Okay, cool.
No, and she texts me as I'm walking in. She's like, I'm so sorry I'm running a few late. Uber's taking forever, whatever. So I end up sitting there by myself for 30 minutes, and like social anxiety kicks in. I've got my Jack and water, and I'm like sucking it down through the straw.
Yeah, because like you're like social anxiety, here I come.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, of course. What are you supposed to do? You're like, let me act preoccupied with my Jack and water.
Let me just sit here and look around and drink, because I guess that's the coolest thing I can do at this point.
Okay, cool. Yeah, got you.
And then he texts me from across the bar and is like, hey, come have a beer with me.
Like,
gross.
Cool.
And yeah.
Cool guy across the bar. He works there. He's getting free drinks.
And, like, super gross. I can't deal with
You're so young. You don't even realize it.
No, it was last year.
Okay.
No, it's just like, I can't deal with like confrontation or telling people. No, I'm such a peacemaker. Yeah. I'm terrified of like, I'm just like, every action I take is like, oh, I just want people to accept me, and I don't want to do anything that would like upset somebody, because what if they don't accept me? So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just go make myself really uncomfortable and hang out with this guy for a little bit till my friend gets here, and she can back me up and kick him out, which is exactly what happened. But by the time she got there, I was, I think, at least one shot, definitely 2 Jack and Waters in, maybe a third. So like, it's already like, we're kicking it into gear. It's like 10:15, and so that's quite a few drinks.
Yeah.
And then we go upstairs to another bar.
So there's a second floor to this place. Sounds like hell.
A second bar.
Yeah, second bar to the place, just in case, like the backup of the backup.
The backup to the back, the shirt before the shirt.
That's all I gotta say, they're messed up.
So we go, and somebody buys a shot for us up there, then we get our own drinks. We're drinking hammered. Like, by the time we go to another bar, somebody buys a shot for us there. I run into a coworker who's the manager at the first bar that we were at, and I'm already hammered by this point. Like, and I'm talking to him about these guys and like how I want this in my life. Like, I'm just shitting out all of my
word vomit.
Just fucking word vomit.
You're like, please stop.
I'm shitting out of my mouth. It wasn't even word vomit.
Yeah.
It's just shitting out of my mouth. Just stuff that like no one needs to know.
Oh my gosh, of course. I think we've all done that, like, for sure.
And
like,
especially not my coworker though, right? Like, he
oh
doesn't
yeah,
need to know. I'm talking shit about my bosses, I'm sure.
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure. You're letting it all hang out. Yeah.
And what are you doing, homegirl? Like this, and just unloading, because that's a period where I was like super unhappy with myself and my job, and just unloading all the shit about like why that is to someone who works in the company.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, like, alcohol.
Can't regurgitate that.
I mean, what is happening? So then we're on to other bars. I've texted people to come out and meet us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do yoga. Like, my center of balance.
You're not trying to do yoga in the middle of the bar.
100%.
I love that. I really, like, honestly, I love you, and I would support all of that, but I really think it's funny.
Just freaking trying to do a crow pose. Like, in a dress, in a bar.
Like, nobody phases you. You're just, like, doing your crow pose.
There's photos of it.
I love it. Honestly,
I'll pull
love
it up for you later. And no center of gravity. Like, just falling all over the place. Making a damn fool of myself. And then we go back to first place. It's 2 a.m. Like, bars are closing. I run into my previous boss's best friend, who I've also hooked up with. Thank you, alcohol.
Thank you, alcohol, because that wasn't a judgment made sober.
No, definitely not. Would not have happened soberly. So then he's just got matching ass tattoos with his best friends. They're pulling down their pants. They're showing me the ass tattoos.
Thank you.
He's making me take pictures of these tattoos, and I'm not fully there, so I'm just doing it because I think it's hilarious. And then I send these photos to my boss.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Was it like established 1998 or something? Like, what was
it? Was
tattoo?
a hand with a middle finger flipping.
Oh,
off.
good, because that's great. You know, whatever.
He's a dad also, so.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, wrong number. I think that will help it.
well, this is a whole nother thing, but the fucked up, anyway, that's another episode.
Yeah, take a happy sip.
God, I'm so fucked up. Anyway, help. So we close the bar down, and he's like, come with us, we're going to the W penthouse to a party. So my friend and I are like, fuck it, whatever, let's go. We go, we're walking around, we're like, it's a crazy view. We don't know anybody there. Like, literally nobody. Nobody's talking to us. Like, it was the most awkward thing. We're walking around this penthouse and just making fun of all of their, like, decor choices.
Amazing. That's actually amazing. I love that.
This is a fucking stupid elephant statue. Like, where did you get this bullshit?
Yeah.
And then we're just eating room service fries. And that's when we kind of come to, and we're like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
Let's leave. So we sneak out, and we're waiting for our Ubers. We're getting separate Ubers. Hers comes. I say bye. She leaves. Mine is on its way, and these fools come downstairs and see me. They have a freaking van taxi waiting, and they're like, come with us. We're going to this other bar.
Horrible idea.
It's like 3 a.m. at this point.
Yeah, you drunk guy.
I'm drunk. I'm like, fuck it. Cancel my Uber and get in the van with them.
Great.
And we go freaking drink at some bar, and I'm like, immediately I'm walking into the bathroom because I have to pee. And
okay.
I've been drinking all night. I have to pee, and this guy follows me. This guy
that's
I don't
the worst
know.
idea ever. I would punch him in the face.
Well, I was like, well, what's going on, man? Like, what's happening?
What does he want?
Reaches in his pocket and pulls out like a little bag of white powder.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'm good. I've never done that before. I don't think like tonight's the night. Like, I'm good. And he's like, what? Like,
he's offended by it?
No, he's just like, can't believe that I've never done coke before.
Oh, really? So he's like all excited to just peer pressure you into this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, guy. You're great.
Oh, he makes it like this huge deal. I kick him out so I can pee. I pee. I come out. Everyone that's in the bar at this point, it was close. I'm not going to name any names because we're not supposed to be doing that. It's very illegal. But everybody that's in the bar at this point is like now talking about how I've never done cocaine.
Great. You're like, thank you.
The situation that I walk back into. And I just like drunkenly explain myself like, hey, not saying I would never do it, but I just like haven't before, and I don't think this is the night. And they're like, well, that's so crazy. Like, you gotta do it. Like, you gotta experience it, whatever. So I have another freaking drink there. Another guy that's friends with my bosses and actually like business partner with my bosses at this point joins the party, and then they decide to tell him that I've never done it before. So there's like all of this like talk, and finally I'm like, you know what, fuck it, just like hand me the key, give me a bump, like let's see what this is all about.
Yeah.
And I do it, and I think that that's all I took. I can't remember for sure, but all it did was just, instead of like me blacking out, it just like prolonged my like consciousness into like what a shitty evening this had been and how it was not fun at all.
Yeah, of
From
course.
that bar, we went to a strip club until like 4 in the morning.
Sounds horrendous.
And the guy that followed me into the bathroom kept buying me lap dances.
Yeah, what is this guy? What is he? Does he know anybody? He sounds like he don't know anybody. He just keeps popping up in the bathroom, you know, the freaking strip club. Like, I literally am convinced he doesn't know anybody. He just,
no
like,
idea
keeps
where he
following
came
everybody.
from. I think so. They just picked him up in the W penthouse.
Seriously?
And he just followed everybody from there.
Worked behind the desk.
He just popped in. Oh, Coke, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's fucking party.
Thank you.
But he just kept buying me lap dances, and like
I can't.
I was not showing any enjoyment.
So you're just like getting
dances.
hit with all these lap dances. You're trying to have a serious conversation with people.
I'm just like
I'm trying to
literally
sober up, but like these lap dances keep hitting me, and I have to be drunk for this.
Leaning
Okay.
back in a chair like this, and like just receiving the saddest lap dance ever, and just
They're like,
not.
what's wrong with this girl? She's not even tipping.
Like-
He's just like at the corner, just handing one.
And
horrible.
he kept grabbing my hand and putting it on her boob.
What is wrong with this guy? I'm literally concerned
And
for his well-being.
I mean, he tried to add me on Facebook later, and I was like, no, thank you.
Deny,
no,
regret,
thank you.
regret.
Literally, all I did the whole time was just talk to the girls about their boob jobs and who their doctor was, and if
Oh,
they
really?
liked
That's
it.
great. That's great. They're like, I love giving lap dances to her. She's great.
And they were like, yeah, just feel it. Feel if you like it, the way it feels. And then, but like the weird thing is like I'm sort of registering. I had stopped drinking at this point. Mm-hmm. It was not a classy strip club. Somebody had bought a bottle, and the way that the bottle was being kept cold at our table was you know those like plastic organization shelves with like multiple drawers.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
guess.
talking
What did
about?
they were in desperation. They didn't know where to put it and put it in one of those drawers or something?
They pulled out a drawer. Like, they didn't have anything left, or I don't know.
They went to like IKEA and they were like desperate. And they were like, this is it.
This is all we got. They filled that shit with ice and put a bottle of vodka in there. And
I
that's,
mean,
and it was like
this
styrofoam cups.
Oh, top brass, for sure. You're like, thank you. $300 bottle of like Tito's that's made in Austin. Thank you.
100%.
That's funny. They're like, this guy's paying for it. I don't even know his
I don't
name.
give a shit.
You keep calling him Henry. His real name's David.
Thanks, Henry. I'll take another lap dance.
Yeah. This one's got great boobs, so I'm going to ask for her boob jobs.
Can you put my hand on her boob for me, please?
Yeah, I think.
Thank you. I don't want to. So, like, the evening's not great.
Yeah.
And you would think that by this time, like 4 a.m, we're being kicked out of the strip club. Like, it's time to close
It's a
up
sign.
shop. One of the guys we're being escorted out. I don't know if we were just got kicked out or if it was time to close. I have no idea. One of the guys throws a bunch of ones in the air, and I'm like, what are you doing? I start picking them up.
Oh, so you're just like, I feel it. You like, I get it, what they go through.
Yeah, why would you throw money on the ground? I don't
Honestly, I
understand.
relate. Yeah, for sure. I'd probably like, I'd grab them.
I
I'm not
mean-
ashamed. I'm not above grabbing
No,
the ones.
no.
If I saw 5, I'm kind of
definitely
speed walking.
I might die for it. I don't know. Times are rough, you know? But so then we're standing outside the strip club deciding what's next, and my drunk ass is like, I don't even know what's wrong with me, but I'm just like, I want some weed. Like, who has weed?
Yeah.
I need weed. And we end up, so literally every substance I've had way too much of it at this point.
Yeah.
We end up at one of the guy's apartments downtown. And I take a hit off of his
Oh,
weed
goodness.
pen.
No, poor thing.
And it's like 5:30 in the morning by this point. The other guys are out on the balcony. It's me and this one guy who's just rambling on and on and on about God knows what. And I don't even understand what he's saying. So I don't say anything back to him. And all I remember is he keeps getting really mad at me for not saying anything.
Oh, really? So he's just like increasingly getting angry, and you're
He's
just
like-
like, look here. Not here. I'm
Have you
not
seen
here.
Scarface?
Yeah, I've seen Scarface,
seen
but like it's like
Scarface?
No, but I know the scene you're talking about.
Like, it literally was like he just turned into like a different person. He suddenly had an Italian accent and was like,
oh, seriously? He just like took on that
literally,
persona?
It's like, hey, I can't do any accents,
Yeah.
but he's like, why aren't you paying attention to me? Why aren't you talking to me? And I try to say words, and this was after the weed pen hit. I can't talk. I have the worst cotton mouth I've ever had, and anyone has ever had in their entire life.
This just pisses him off more.
Because I've had copious amounts of whiskey at this point, dehydrating me. Then I've had a bump of cocaine, maybe another one, who knows?
Yeah.
And now I've had weed to top it all off, and it's like 6 a.m. And so I finally somehow convey to him that I have crazy cotton mouth. And he's like, oh, you have bad cotton mouth. Oh, no. Here, drink this. I think it's water. He hands me fucking vodka.
I really don't like... I don't like this guy.
Is this the same dude?
There were like 4 or 5 dudes, but it wasn't that guy. That was like, he kept trying to get me to go with him.
So do you know these people's names, or are you just like...
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Safety reasons.
Okay, safety
for
reasons.
For everybody involved.
We got the
some are parents,
guy,
some are business owners, some work at the W.
Jeez. Yeah.
So there was a whole like struggle where that's when I realized how alone I was in that situation, because he kept trying to get me to go with him from the strip club, like leave with him.
And he was so desperate, he just followed you to the next place.
And I was like, no.
Scary.
And then I realized I was like looking around, looking for support in all these 40-year-old men that I don't know very well.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, why the fuck am I in this situation?
You're the only female. They're all like desperate. You keep calling them like Timothy, Henry, Bobby, like every other name. You're like, I need to get out of here.
No, they just were like not, because in any situation with women, like where this is happening, where a guy is like, get in my car, come with me.
Yeah, I know.
Every woman would be like, you need to fucking leave. Get out of here right now.
Yeah, of course.
She said
but this was socially acceptable.
And they're just looking at me like, this is your problem. Like, we're not going to help you. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So finally, I don't even know how it happened, but he left. I am handed this fucking bottle of vodka for my cotton mouth at 6 in the morning.
Thank you.
I drink it, realize it's vodka. I hand it back to him. I'm like, peace out. I'm leaving.
Yeah, of course.
My phone's dying. I somehow miraculously get an Uber from downtown Austin, 6:30 in the morning. My Uber driver, the sun's out. Like,
yeah.
I haven't been asleep. My Uber driver is like so chipper. Like, this is Saturday morning.
Stop. Do you have coffee? No?
And he's trying to talk to me. And I cannot talk to him because I have horrible cotton mouth.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it was the worst car ride of my life. I get home. I puke for like an hour, fall asleep on my couch, wake up, still drunk, puke again, order a bunch of food because I'm like, this hangover that's about to come to me is going to be insane. I order like 3 different breakfast items. By the time they get here, they like are handed over into the threshold of my door. I smell it. I drop them and run to the bathroom and puke for like an hour. So this was all Friday night. I couldn't drink water or eat food until I went to go get an IV Sunday evening.
That's absolutely concerning.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And not like an IV from a hospital. Like, I went to, like, iVitamin, like one of those bougie ones. So it was, like, $270.
Yeah, of course. It's, like, $300 to get your IV.
And, like, I did it to myself. Why did I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm reminiscing about the evening and, like, obviously, I'm, like, laid up in bed, dying for the entire weekend, pissed at myself. And I'm like, did I even have fun? Was there any part of this evening that was worth what I'm experiencing right now? And
yeah, for sure.
The answer was 100% no. Like,
yeah, of course.
Nothing about this was enjoyable. I wouldn't do any of it again. I wouldn't suggest that anyone does it.
Anybody else?
And it just was almost like a thing where I was going through the motions of like, oh, okay, I started this off because I have social anxiety, so now I'm drinking a bunch of alcohol to feel okay in the space that I'm in. And then it's like, all right, now I'm drunk, so now I do all these crazy things and I have all these crazy experiences because that's what you do when you're drunk. You say yes to things and like you go to the W penthouse when you don't know anybody and you go to the strip club and you do coke because
when you feel obligated to do it.
So that was like that weekend specifically was like the real eye-opener for me of like, there have been so many times in my life before this where I was questioning like, why am I drinking? Do I enjoy this? What is the motivation behind this? But not fully understanding or like putting the things together because I still felt all of these things of like social anxiety and like, this is just what's done. And like so ingrained in like culture in general. And then also the environment that I'd like, and the friendships and stuff that I've created for myself.
Yeah.
Because I used to feel bad about, like, John. Like, when John and I
hung out,
used to our mutual friend, John, when we first started hanging out, like, I was partying all the time, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so that's what our relationship was built on. And so I had issues when I realized that I didn't super want to drink anymore. I felt bad because it was like,
expectation too, of
like
you doing that.
This is our friendship. This is what we do. What does it mean if I don't drink anymore?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But this weekend in particular was just kind of the eye opener of like, okay, no, like, this isn't worth it. And like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't ever want to be that drunk. Every time it happens, I feel shame and guilt and horrible and like just regret the whole evening.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So why am I putting myself through this?
Yeah, you don't even think through half the stuff you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why? Straight up why? Yeah. So at that point, realize like, okay, I'm not. I gave myself like a 2-drink rule, like a 2-drink maximum rule after that. Good rule. And stuck to it. I was able to stick to it because I was like, I don't ever want to end up in that like place again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in that situation?
Oh, it was awful. And then from that progressed, like I read this book called Sober Curious. Have I ever talked to you about it?
No. Oh, well, you kind of mentioned it. I think just like kind of
briefly. I can't even remember who it's by. Sorry, lady. But it's a great book. And it's Ruby. It's Ruby something. Ruby Washington Field.
Sounds nice.
Ruby Warrington, I think.
Okay, cool. I like Washington Field, but Warrington sounds great.
And just basically the whole book is like a look at through her lens of she's from the UK and how drinking is so ingrained in culture and it's just something that you do and not something that you ever really think about or question your personal relationship with it or your motivations behind it, and how it can turn into something really destructive and toxic in your life.
Of course.
And that you have the ability, even though it's hard and even though it's kind of a challenge, to set those boundaries for yourself and say, like, hey, right now I'm sober because I didn't have a super great relationship with drinking. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying the sober thing for a while and not letting the social pressures of like, oh, well, what does that mean if you're not drinking? Can I still drink? Like,
don't stand near me when I drink because it's making me feel weird. All that. No, seriously, people do that. They're like, you're not drinking with me, so...
people feel super weird about it.
Yeah, they're like offended, kind of.
Yeah, and as, like, I think you're like this too, like somebody who doesn't ever want to make other people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, all right, well, fuck it, I'll just have a drink then.
I'll have a shot or something.
Yeah, and it's not ever something that you, like, for me, for years, that was what I was doing, and I never felt good about it. Like, I never felt like, oh, that was something that I wanted to do. It was always like, oh, that's something that I felt like I had to do.
Yeah, it's a really crazy domino effect whenever you start drinking, like even with yourself, but also with other people. Of like I think it's just normal to get absolutely belligerent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like to the point of like
accepted.
Yeah, and there's not like there's not a moderation when you're younger. Just like we got this crazy jungle punch. I don't even know what's in it, but we're gonna drink it. You know what I mean?
We're gonna try it out.
Like, Lord save us all.
Yeah.
SOS. That's how I feel. Yeah, for sure. I don't even know what's in it, but I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And there's also like, I feel like in college culture and just in young culture in America, like there's this, and it's even in like pop culture in different ways. Like there's this emphasis on like, get blackout drunk, like get super wasted. That's what being young is.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. Do it. Like, go for it.
There's also people that don't do that, but I don't think they're idealized. Like, the people that get drunk and make it look fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't, like, show the after shot of them in bed with, like, some freaking ice creams.
IV.
Yeah, IV. I wasn't, we'll do IV. Or some wings or something. I'm just, like, feeling, like, horrible.
Yeah.
Or even having to work. They're, like, at work and they're just, like, absolutely dead. They're, like...
dying.
Zombie.
Dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even that a little bit is like romanticized in It's like, oh, I was so drunk last night.
So cutesy.
Like, oh, I was so
I'm like, get out of here,
hungover.
dude.
It's almost like a badge of honor, it feels like, in some situations.
Yeah, you're like, I was sleeping. Literally, though, I'm really disinterested in what you have to say about your drunk night.
Yeah.
You twerked? That's a nice twerk. That's cool.
I did that. Super drunk at my sister's wedding. I twerked in front of my grandma.
Which twerking is cool, but
Whoops.
You're really proud of your twerk. I don't want to hear.
We haven't talked about it.
The whole family didn't talk about it? They're like, this is inappropriate.
My sister's husband has a friend who, like, for some reason had, like, a really weird crush on me at that point.
Oh, gosh. You just, like, put it into the bowl. The ball started rolling after you twerked or something?
All I remember it was 2013 or 2014. I can't remember. It was when Miley Cyrus's Can't Stop came out. That banger.
Yeah.
And when twerking was in its heyday. And they were playing that song at the wedding, and I was drunk, and so, of course, I was twerking. And my sister came over to me, and she was also a little drunk, and she was like, you have to stop twerking. Homeboy's getting too excited.
Seriously?
Oh, God.
Like, he let other people know? Or was it like in the peripheral vision of reviewers, she's like, dude, okay, I get it.
I'm not clear.
It's like adding up. Good. I don't even want to know either, actually. Yeah. I don't want to know. I don't think you want to know. That's fine.
No,
you don't want to know.
I definitely don't. There's quite a few things from that evening that I'm like, I don't want to know what happened there. I don't want to know what happened there at my sister's wedding.
Sometimes I like it being hazy. Like, that's just TMI. I
don't need to know what I did.
I don't even know, but obviously you're a good twerker, so that's a plus.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
That was the wine.
He said something different.
It's getting too excited.
Yeah.
Calm the twerking down. Grandma's upset. Sorry, Grandma. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with drinking and not drinking specifically. Of right now, it is not something that makes any sense for me whatsoever. It became a very toxic relationship. And it was never to a point of, I actually went to a couple AA meetings earlier this summer just because I felt like I didn't need to drink or anything, but I just felt like there was a piece of, just not recovery. I don't know. I just felt like maybe that was an answer. What happened was I listened to Dax Shepard, Armchair Expert, and he talked about AA and how great it was. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. But I went and I almost felt like, I don't think that anybody there felt this, but I almost felt like, oh no, like my issue isn't serious enough to be here.
Really?
And like these people are really, like, they've really gone through something, and like
they're experiencing it. They
need this community and program to not drink. Like, they can't be around alcohol. Like, it's a very serious problem. And I almost felt like, for me, I was like, oh, I don't have that. And I feel like, not like I'm making light of the situation, but it didn't mesh for me. It didn't make sense for me to be there, I felt like.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll be sober for forever, but I am drawing boundaries and taking time to really evaluate my relationship with alcohol, with other substances, and just make sure, instead of just going blindly into it and thinking like, oh, this is an answer, this is a solution to my social anxiety, to not being able to talk to or flirt with boys, like, to the peacemaking aspect of it, of like, oh, if I drink, then this will make this person feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Really just quieting like all of those voices in my head and saying like, okay, this is not an answer to any of those problems, and I'm not gonna find that answer if I'm continuing to drink and continuing to entertain the thought of that being an answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. No,
yeah.
It's understandable. I think alcohol is like a solution, as well as weed, as to like many things.
Yeah. Yeah. I just need some time. I need some time without them, away from them.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. It feels great. I'm not gonna lie. It's
New
like
friends.
Yeah.
New friends.
It's my favorite part of actually like 2 weeks ago, Colt was there at Henry's birthday party.
Oh yeah.
Like a little improv friend get together for Henry's birthday, and I think I was the only person not drinking, and that was like the first party or like social situation where I felt so confident in that identity and like that choice that I'd made, and I still had so much fun and was just kind of like in the moment and didn't realize until after I left, like, oh, I was the only person not drinking, and like it was still fine and everything was okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was a cool moment in my sobriety journey.
Cross that bridge.
Girl, but like I said, I could talk literally all day about drinking.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I have so many horrible stories.
Everybody has like those horrible, they just like hide it. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to talk about you falling off stage. Me either.
You fell off stage?
I don't know. I think a lot of people fall off
I don't
stage.
know.
Okay? It's not a me thing, but I think a lot of people fell off stage.
What stage? Did you fall off a stage drunk?
I think a lot of people.
I feel like you're backpedaling a little bit.
I'm kind of being dismissive about it as a joke, but like, you know,
shit happens. You know?
Have a couple drinks, and then like I think like as a female, you're like starting to feel cheeky, and then you like go to the bathroom, and you're like, you are so good looking,
right?
You know what? Like you're just feeling yourself, but like also you're like
confidence.
You're like, I have that eyeliner under my eye. Let me like just swipe that real quick, and you're like, you good, girl?
Bathroom mirror selfie real quick.
Yeah, like who's in here that I can get some support from? Then you walk out like a brand new woman, and then you're just like, the reminder of you're drunk and these decisions are horrible. And the next morning, you're like on a speaker, you're dancing, and you're like, nobody's watching you, dude. But like nobody's watching you, like literally. But you think everybody's watching you, and you're just like,
well, I will say the support in a women's bathroom at a bar at about 1:15 in the morning, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, like I'm not afraid to ask for some toilet paper from my neighbor.
No, and they're gonna give it to you, and they're gonna be like, girl, I love your shoes, where did you get them?
Yes.
And then you're gonna get out of the stall, and you guys are gonna be best friends for the rest of your life.
That's what I'm saying, you know?
You're
like there's not even a crowd
numbers.
watching you on the speaker, it's just like the random anonymous people by the speaker, just like if I saw a crowd of people, I'd look for your eyes. You
Mine?
know? Oh hell yeah, I would, because nobody's looking at me, and I'd be looking for you, and then all I see was your little hands, just like
Stevie.
Yeah,
you twerk on that speaker, girl.
I may not be that good, but that's okay.
How many speakers have you danced on? Because I can only think of one that I've danced on.
Yeah.
It was more like a sitting dancing. Like I wasn't standing.
Sitting? How do you squat and dance?
No, it was just like
Is it like your hand movements?
Yeah,
Are you
it was
gesturing?
like a lot of upper body action.
I think I love that.
Some snapping.
Yeah, you hit
tilting.
them with what about the shoulder? Did you hit them with the shoulder?
So many shoulders.
Yeah.
But there's what's were you standing on a speaker?
I don't think there's an appropriate amount of like times that I've danced on a speaker, you know? Like I think it's, you know, there's like an abnormal amount.
Okay, are we talking more than 10?
Honestly, like when you think about like sobriety, it triggers me to the number of speakers I've danced on. One time I thought it was a good idea to do splits. I've never done the splits. I don't even. All right, but on a real note, on the next episode, I'll be talking about my like tampon flailing. I'm so nervous. Okay, I'm a little nervous about like my drunk stories because they're not cute. Like you could still be cute at the end of the day in your stories. You're like,
I twerked in front of my grandma.
The guy kept putting my hand on the boob. Mine's like, I had a tampon in, I forgot about it. Okay, it's like flailing in the wind. I was on a speaker, but the crowd was live, you know, kind of thing.
They were into it.
Maybe there's a toilet. I don't know. But like all my on the next one, we're going to be introducing all my embarrassing drunk stories that you may not want to admit to yourself, but like I guess I'll just share that with.
Can't wait to hear that.
Oh, good. I can't. I can kind of wait to share, but like I'm just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. It's okay.
Next
is
time.
tampon flailing a thing?
Next time. Help! I lost my tampon.
Help! SOS. You know what? Girls need to help out other girls. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yes. If you want to give a shout out or just reach us.
Or send in like a topic you want us to bullshit on.
Yeah. Our email is helpthepodcast@gmail.com. And our Instagram is...
It is at The Help Podcast.
At The Help Podcast.
And you can search Facebook, The Help Podcast. We're on there as well. And you can find all of our episodes on any major podcasting platform.
Yes.
iTunes, Stitcher.
Or if you get confused, just email us. We'll help you.
We'll send you the link, girl. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good one.